Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on our Breastfeeding Support Live. We are super excited for this session today. Due to the month that we're in June being Father's Day, have invited a special guest to our session, and we're going to talk about fathers and involvement in breastfeeding and that mom and family breastfeeding journey. And we're really excited to have our special guests. We're going to start with some self-introductions. We have someone from our WIC staff here today. And so we're going to get started by doing that. Our session today is going to be a little bit different. Normally we have slides that we kind of go through and topics. This is going to be more of a question and answer kind of session. So our guests can kind of answer the questions that we have and give you that information. Always know that if you do have questions, please feel free to add those to the comment section in YouTube. We will try and answer them as part of our session if you're adding them right now. If not, we will go back in and add our answers or reach out as best we can to answer those questions for you. So with my pleasure, I'd like to hand it off to Angela.
Yes, thank you. Yes, my name is 𝗙𝘗𝘆. I am a lactation consultant and a dietitian and the breastfeeding coordinator for our local WIC agency. So we're excited to be here today, like 𝗙𝘗𝘶 said, with our special guest, William Morrison. So William, I'll just hand it to you if you want to introduce yourself. He is Black Mamas ATX. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Black Mamas ATX and your role there with them.
Yeah, well, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Well, like she said, I'm William Morrison. I'm a fatherhood specialist in 𝗙𝘁𝗹𝗹 for Black Mamas ATX, which is a nonprofit organization based out here in Austin, Texas, dedicated to improving maternal health outcomes for Black women before, during, and after childbirth. Our mission is to ensure that Black mothers survive and thrive by reducing maternal health disparities and providing families with education, advocacy, and community support and culturally responsive care. My passion is helping dads feel confident, prepared, and supported throughout pregnancy, birth, and early stages of parenthood. A lot of attention naturally goes to mom during this journey, but fathers matter too. I work with dads to help them understand their role, strengthen their relationship with their partner, prepare for childbirth, support breastfeeding, bond with their baby, and navigate the emotional and practical challenges that come with becoming a parent.
Yes, and tell everybody too, what is your role considered? What is the program? Is it you're a 𝗙𝘁𝘶? Is that right?
Yeah, it's the 𝗙𝘁𝘶 program. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because Black Mamas ATX have a wonderful doula support system program, and so it's so awesome that you guys have this additional program and support for the fathers.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to jump into a couple of questions for you. So the first question I kind of have is, what are some things that dads can do to prepare for the birth while mom is still pregnant?
Let's see. One of the best things dad can do is be present and involved. Pregnancy can feel overwhelming, and knowing she has a partner who is actively preparing can reduce a lot of stress. Some simple ways to prepare can include things like attending prenatal appointments, learn about labor, delivery, newborn care together, help get home and baby supplies organized, practice installing the car seat before due date. You can pack your hospital bag early, take on household responsibility as mom energy changes, and also talk about expectations for labor, visitors, feeding, sleep, and parenting roles. Because we have to remember preparation isn't just about the baby, it's also about strengthening your partnership before life gets busier.
That's a really good point. Yes, support, right? That's the huge key. I know we talk a lot about supporting the moms and in WIC and what we do too. So having that partner support, I mean, that's huge. And having, just having a support system even for the dad or the partner to be able to support their mom, the mom, that's also huge.
Exactly.
There's a lot to prepare for during pregnancy.
It definitely is.
So knowing that, having the mom know that they're not in it alone, and that support, that's wonderful. That's awesome. Okay, the next question I have for you, what are some ways that dads can bond with their baby when the mom is exclusively breastfeeding?
Let's see. Feeding is only one part of bonding. Dads can build a strong connection by holding baby skin to skin, taking over diaper changes, bathing baby, reading books, singing songs, talking to baby, wearing the baby in your carrier, taking walks together, uh, comforting baby between feedings, and creating just like a special daily routine for just dad and baby. Because we have to remember babies learn your voice, your smell, your touch, and your presence. And bonding happens through consistent love and interaction, not just feeding.
Yes, that's a great point. I know that I love that you mentioned skin to skin too. That's such a huge thing. I know sometimes when we talk about, oh, how can, mom's feeding the baby, what can dad do? And it's like, oh, change the diapers. I mean, that's not what every dad wants to see here. They want more involvement than just changing some diapers.
Exactly.
So I love that you mentioned all those other things that are so important and other ways that dads can bond with the baby. Skin to skin is so valuable, right? Whether they're breastfeeding or not, valuable for the baby and for the dad, whoever's doing it. Yeah, we always like, no matter what you do, learn how to do skin to skin because it's such an important thing. Okay, another question I have for you is what advice, so it kind of goes a little bit along with that same concept, but what advice would you give dads that feel left out because they aren't the one feeding the baby? Because, some, like you said, feeding's not everything, but sometimes people will think that, well, she's doing this, or, especially with breastfeeding babies, they're feeding like not constantly. Sometimes it feels like that though, like, right, they're feeding pretty frequently. So I think sometimes dads might feel a little left out of the process whenever mom's taking all of that on themselves. What advice would you maybe have for them in those situations?
Yeah, we know that many dads experience this feeling, and that's totally common. But we have to remember that breastfeeding is one role and not the only role. Your baby needs comfort, protection, connection, play, security, and love. Those things, excuse me, only you can provide in your own unique way. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, focusing on what you can do. Your relationship with your child is being built every time you hold them, soothe them, or talk to them. So it's about showing up consistently. The early weeks may feel mom-centered, but as the father, we have to remember we can't be replaced.
Very good point. I love that. Yeah. And again, yeah, that sometimes it's those first couple of weeks too that, mom's recovering and there's all that stuff too. The partners are so valuable there, right? To support in all of the ways, support mom, support baby. It's not a singular thing. It takes everybody. There's so much going on and
Right.
a lot of support needed.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's just the thing. Sometimes, we have sometimes moms even that say, well, I'm not going to breastfeed. Like when we talk to them when they're pregnant, maybe they're not going to breastfeed because, well, dad wants to help feed the baby, and so those are important times we have those discussions too, that, there's so many other things, not to make the dad or the partner feel left out, but there's so many other things that they can do that are so just equally as important.
Right.
And also that those things can easily be incorporated as, breastfeeding is established and as baby gets a little older. Those are, a lot of times, sometimes that'll happen once or twice. And then, there's so many other ways that they can be helpful, and just knowing that they're not going to be left out. There's plenty to do.
Right. Definitely. Definitely.
Okay. The next question I have for you, too, is what should dads know about breastfeeding support resources and when to get help? So like if they have their partner is breastfeeding and things just aren't going right, or maybe they don't know if things are going right. What's some advice that you could have for dads in those situations?
I would tell the dads, dads should know that they don't have to figure out everything alone. Encourage mom to seek support if feeding is consistently painful. Baby seems frustrated after every feeding. Mom is feeling overwhelmed or discouraged. baby isn't feeding well or seems unsatisfied, and that there may be ongoing concerns that are improving. And then some of the support that can come from that could be lactation consultants, breastfeeding support groups, experienced mothers in the community, pediatric providers, and like hospital breastfeeding programs. One of the most important roles as a dad can play is helping mom recognize when extra support is needed and helping connect her with those resources.
Yes, that's great. Yeah. We have a lot of resources for moms that we'll talk about here in a little while too. But I think that's the hardest thing is sometimes, if the mom's in it or having those issues, sometimes when she's in that situation, it's hard to know when to need help, right? And so sometimes the dad as an outside person can, have eyes like, all right, you look like you're struggling a little bit. Let's get you some help, or when to ask for help. That's hard for all of us to do sometimes, I think, is know when to ask for help. And what's normal, right? Like what's normal, what's just a normal thing that I'm going to have some issues with breastfeeding. And, some people think that that's normal, but when it's not, that there shouldn't be these certain issues that they're having.
Right.
So sometimes it's good to have an outside person to look in and say like, well, let's get some help.
Right. And then there's like I tell some of my clients, the strongest fathers aren't the ones who have all the answers. They're the ones who help their family find the support they need when the challenges arise, So
That's a great point. I think that's something we all need to hear sometimes too is, I think a lot of people want to fix it, right? If the mom's struggling, well, how can I fix it? We have a lot of times moms that tell us that, well, nobody wants to see their partner struggle. If they're struggling, I think the main thing too is learning like what are the mom's goals, right? Does she want to exclusively breastfeed? If that's the case, how can we help her meet those goals? It's not just, it's too hard. You can give up. Here's a bottle, sometimes that, right. And I think sometimes that, people see as like, well, that's a solution. It's going to help, but help her meet her goals? What are her goals? And so knowing that if that's not truly what she wants, knowing, okay, let's ask for some help. Let's get some help. Because so many breastfeeding problems, especially, they can be resolved easily with asking for help early on too, instead of just trying to, get through it, because that can cause more issues later. So
Right.
really trying to ask for help and knowing that that's okay.
Exactly.
Okay, the only other last question, kind of, that I have for you too. I know that as part of what you do with Black Mamas ATX, you do an amazing group with different dads, and you guys go through so many topics and so many things. And hopefully, we'll get into some of those in future presentations. But regarding breastfeeding support and pregnancy support, is there any other important things for dads and partners to know or to take away?
Yeah, I would just end on a note of like one of the biggest things dads and partners should know is that breastfeeding is a family journey, not just mom's responsibility. The early weeks can be tiring, emotional, unpredictable for everyone. There may be moments when mom feels discouraged, baby seems fussy, and both parents are running on very little sleep, and that's normal. A few important reminders I would say would be patient with the process and with each other. Avoid trying to fix every challenge. Sometimes mom simply needs someone to listen. Take care of yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup as well. Celebrate progress instead of striving for perfection. Communicate openly about needs, frustration, and expectations. And then also remember that your support behind the scene makes tremendous difference, even when it goes unnoticed sometimes. Um, your present matter, excuse me, your presence matters. Showing up every day, helping where you can, encouraging your partner, and loving your baby are some of the most valuable contributions a father can make. So when it comes to breastfeeding, breastfeeding may be centered around mom and baby, but dads and partners play a critical role in helping the entire family thrive. The strongest teams aren't the ones who do everything perfectly. They're the ones who face challenges together.
I love that. Yes. That's wonderful advice. I think that that's something so many people can learn from. Um, I love that. So thank you for all of your wonderful insight and
Thank you.
giving us a little bit of a from a dad's perspective. And it's really important. I think, like you said, it's dads are part of this. It's not a singular thing. They're part of this. It is a journey. And support is so important. We know that such a large amount of moms don't reach their breastfeeding goals, and a big part of that is just the lack of support. And so having that extra support wherever they can get it, if they don't have a supportive partner or anybody else in their life, that's why we have so many other resources for different support systems. So wonderful. Thank you so much, William. We're going to jump in. I'm going to jump into a couple of other things, a little bit about WIC before we completely end here. Talk a little bit about some of our services and things that we have through WIC. Just if anybody's unaware, because I think it all kind of ties back in. But if anybody's not aware what WIC is, it is a nutrition program for pregnant and breastfeeding and postpartum women, and then families with children from birth up to the age of 5. But it's really important too. So WIC stands for Women, Infants, and Children. So just the title sometimes can feel exclusive. Feels like it excludes fathers sometimes. So we really want to make sure that it's that fathers are aware that dads are very welcome at WIC. We want them to be a part of the program, the experience. Dads can enroll their children in WIC, come to appointments, be part of these educational sessions, to just be a part and be included as much as possible. And so we also do, we were talking a little bit about how do we support knowing when to ask for help. Our WIC clinics do have breastfeeding peer counselors in all of our local WIC clinics that can offer breastfeeding assistance. We have breastfeeding classes through our state WIC website, also online. And then we also have Mom's Place Lactation Support Center. And through that, really all we do there is help with breastfeeding. We have lactation consultants and peer counselors there that are able to just dedicate time to help with breastfeeding issues. And there's also a 24/7 hotline that anybody can call for help, because we know a lot of times breastfeeding issues are not just happening during business hours. That sometimes can be late at night, early morning, when you just need somebody to reach out to talk about, is this normal? What do I need to do? The hotline is great for those things. And then WIC also does provide nutritious foods, also nutrition information, health screenings, to help for pregnancy and childhood. And if you are interested in applying for WIC, you can do that online at texaswic.org. There's a form online that you can submit, and then a team member is going to reach out and contact you to set up that first appointment. But if you'd rather call, we do have a local WIC scheduling center, and the number is there. They'll connect you with the WIC office that's closest to you and then get you set up for that appointment. And just know we're here to support you every step of the way. As soon as you find out you're pregnant, up through until your child turns 5, we're just here to support you in whatever your goals may be, with resources, breastfeeding and nutrition education, and so much more. And we'll end with, those are the contact information numbers for our WIC office, Mom's Place Lactation Support Center. There's also the website for Black Mamas ATX. If you have any other questions about their programs or anything, their website is amazing. They have a lot of information about their doula services and all of the other things that they provide. William, do you have any last words before we end things here?
I would say if anyone would like to reach out to me, they can reach out to me at william@blackmamasatx.com. I'm open for meetups, questions, anything surrounding anything to move the relationship with dads in this program. I'm down for it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much again for joining us. we love the program that you're doing and all of the support you give to dads out there. And so this will not be our last time talking with you and learning more about the support that we can give dads and families.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, William and Angela. We will add William's email to our chat underneath the video. So please feel free, like he said, to reach out to him. Also, to give us an opportunity to answer any questions that you might have about the information you received or any additional questions that may have popped up as our session went on. And we will see you next time.